Hi everyone, so tonight I'm going to have sticky pork for my dinner, so I thought I'd film it just to show you how I do my sticky pork. These are all the ingredients that I'm going to be using. So I've already cut my pork up. Now you can use any kind of pork loin, anything like that. I had pork chops in the freezer, so I've taken them out the freezer, I've cut all the fat off them and I've just cut them into little pork strips. Okay, so you've got your pork. I'm using the Sharwood's fine egg noodles, which are free. I'm going to be having some Hasselback carrots with it, so I'll show you how I do them. And then also some like char grilled veg, so I'm going to do a pepper, a red onion and some courgette. You're going to need some lazy garlic and some fry light, any one you like. I like the chilli one for this. Some seasoning, so I've got some salt and pepper, and then some sea salt for the Hasselback carrots. And then this is going to be our marinade, so we're going to have balsamic vinegar, soy sauce and honey. So yeah, I'm going to show you how I cook my sticky pork. So it's actually about 4 o'clock now and I'm not going to be having dinner till about 6:30, 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to marinate my pork. Now obviously I'm using pork, but you could do any kind of meat with this dish. You could do chicken, beef, prawns, so just whatever you fancy, but I had pork to use, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to marinate this for a wee while before I do the rest of the prep and cooking. So what I'm going to use, like I said, was honey. Now honey is usually about 1 cent for a teaspoon, 2.5 cents for a tablespoon. I'm going to be using 4 tablespoons, but this is going to be about 3 servings, so all in all the cents aren't going to be totally high for each portion. Then we're going to use 4 tablespoons of the balsamic vinegar and 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now I'm using this light soy sauce, fat free, but soy sauce is free on some world, so you can use any, and I've not actually got a lot of this one, so I'm probably going to have to open a new bottle anyway. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is just pour all my tablespoons into the marinade. So we've got 4 honey, 4 balsamic vinegar and 4 light soy sauce. So I'm going to mix all that once all those marinade mixes are in. I'm just going to mix it together, coat all that pork like that, and then I'm going to cover it with some cling film, and I'm just going to pop it in the fridge to marinate for about an hour to an hour and a half. So it's about 5:45 now and I'm getting quite hungry, so I'm probably going to want to eat in the next hour or so. So I'm going to prep my veg. The pork doesn't take very long, so that's still marinating in the fridge. So I'm going to just slice this pepper, thick slices. I'm going to slice the courgette and then just slice the onion into chunks. And we're going to do some roasted veg. And for the Hasselback carrots, all you want to do first is cut the tops and the ends off, peel the rough skin, and then you want to boil them for about 10 to 15 minutes till they're quite soft. You don't want them being really soft because you're going to obviously do the Hasselback slices. So yeah, 10-15 minutes is usually fine to boil these. So let's get on with that. It's just bubbling away nicely in there. So next we're going to just lay out our veg to be roasted. So we're just gonna set you up. Hi. Over here. I've got a tripod to make this a little bit easier. Okay, so I've just laid some tin foil on a baking sheet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray it with some fry light. I'm using the chilli one. Just fell down. There we go. Is that working? Not even going to edit that out. I'm just going to keep it in. So I've sprayed the sheet with fry light, the chilli one. This is the one I'm using. It's got a bit of a kick to it. And then I've got all my veg here. So I'm just going to hang it out on the tray. Just separate it out a bit. got a bit of everything everywhere. That's a big onion there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spray more fry light on top, a few sprays, and then we're going to put some seasoning. So I'm going to put some salt on the top and some pepper, and then I'm also going to do some mixed herbs. There we go. And lastly, I'm going to do some garlic and herb seasoning. And that just gives it a little bit of flavour in the veg. So our carrots are probably quite soft now, so we're going to take them and cut them. So we're going to keep the water because we're going to use the water to cook our noodles in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring the pot over here. And I've got some tongs and I'm going to place them on the chopping board. Just like that. Okay, I've sorted out the light and away from the sun so you can see what I'm doing. So these carrots, you can see they're quite soft. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut them Hasselback style. So to do that, you're just doing slits all the way along, but you're not going right down to the bottom to cut right through the carrot. You're just going about 3/4 of the way down, and you make the slits quite close together like this. There we go, so it's got that kind of, oh, I've cut one in half, but that's fine. It's got kind of like this, move that one to the side, this pattern on it, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it apart a little bit. They can be quite hot, so just watch your fingers. Pull it apart like that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to spray some fry light on top. And then we're going to add some lazy garlic, so just a little tiny bit of lazy garlic, just maybe a tiny little bit, and we're just going to pop it on the top of it like this so it goes in the creases. There we go. And then we're going to get some sea salt, and we're just going to put some sea salt on, and then some pepper, and then a little bit of pepper. And that's that. And then I'm going to transfer all these over to the baking tray with the roasted veg. So as you can see here, we've got all our veg, and then we've got our carrots on the end here. So I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees, and I'm going to pop this in the oven now, and then we'll get on with the pork. Okay, so I've got my pork out of the fridge. As you can see, it's still got that nice marinade in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the heat on quite high on my pan, and I'm going to spray a few sprays of fry light, and then I'm going to add my pork into that. Right, you're going to want to wait until that heat's nice and hot. And then you're going to want to turn it down really low, because you don't want the sauce to evaporate too quickly. You want it to slowly evaporate so it creates a sticky kind of sauce for the pork. So we're going to let that heat up. While that's heating up, we're going to put the noodles on. So you can see that's really bubbling, it's really hot. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it right down to a very low heat, and we're going to leave it to bubble away itself, to simmer, and then it should evaporate but also make the sauce nice and sticky to coat the pork. So I've got a pot over here with boiling water in it from the carrots, so I'm going to use this just to cook the noodles in. So I'm using the Sharwood's fine noodles, and these are free on Slimming World. And I'm just going to use one portion like that, pop that in, pop the lid on, and that shouldn't take too long. They usually take about 5 minutes really, just boiling away to get it soft. So we'll leave that with that, and we'll keep an eye on our pork here and just keep stirring, making sure it's evaporating away. Just remember, while your pork's cooking, keep an eye on your veg. You don't want to burn it. It's looking quite nice now, but it still needs a little longer. So as you can see, that sauce is really starting to thicken up and stick nicely to the pork. So we're going to turn that down a little bit more. So while that's been cooking away, the noodles have cooked, and I've just drained them and then left them in the pot just to keep warm. It's not going to be much longer, so we're just kind of waiting. And the last of this and the char-grilled veg and the Hasselback, the roasted veg, I keep saying char-grilled and I've no idea what char-grilled veg even is, but roasted veg and the Hasselback carrots, and then we'll plate it up when it's done. So as you can see, everything's pretty much ready just to plate up. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some more soy sauce to my noodles, because I do like soy sauce quite a lot. So I like to just add a little bit, and I've not got a lot left in that bottle. Just add that and mix that up, and it gives it kind of a little bit more flavour into the noodles. So yeah, let's just plate that up and see how it looks. Okay, so here's our final dish. We've got our speedy veg, half of our plate taken up with veg. So we've got courgette, red onion, red pepper, and then in the middle there we've got our Hasselback carrots. And then if we spin round, we've got our noodles, and then of course our sticky pork, which I've added some sesame seeds onto. Now, all this is either speeder free. The only sins we're using for this dish is the honey that's in the marinade. Now, I'm going to sin about 3 sins for my portion, just to protect my weight loss. It's probably not as much as that, but of course, just to protect my weight loss, you like to over-sin a little bit, so that you're within your sins and you get a good loss at the end of them. If you enjoyed this video, and I hope you try the recipe. It is really quick and easy. You're only cooking the pork for around 10 to 15 minutes. The roasted veg doesn't take too long, and the noodles really don't take long at all either. So I think I made that in about half an hour, if that, and it's going to be a really tasty, really nutritious meal. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you tune in for my next one. Thank you!